I think we need to go deeper. Well, hey, studio pals, welcome back to the channel. My hair is a mess, so that's why I'm wearing the cap. And it's cold down here in the studio, in the old Corvus Moon studio. Hi. Yeah, long time no see. I had some communications with WeCreate. They said, could you do another video? And I'm wondering what to do. I had absolutely no idea. And then it dawned on me. I've been wanting to do a technique to where I do roulettes, and those are rollers, just wooden rollers basically, for clay. And you have to get a pattern that goes all the way around it so that when you roll it, you form the pattern across your slab of clay. Well, I've actually made those before with the 3D printer, but the bad thing about that is PLA filament likes to stick really bad, in fact, to clay. So if you're spraying it with oil or something, that's fine, but it's just a mess. So we bought an 1.1/8. That's an 1.1/8 diameter. Poplar dowel. Wood is clay's friend. What we're going to do is cut this into sections, put it on the WeCreate Vision 45's rotary system that we've modified, and the link to the Vision Pro 45 is down below. So if you would like to attempt to purchase one of those, I believe you still get $150 off, and it helps my channel out great. Please like and subscribe. Please give a thumbs up if you get a chance. See if we can't get an etched image all the way around this and use it for clay slabs. I think it'll be fun. It's a great thing. You could do rolling pins for cookies, just incredible stuff. So let's get that started right now. So the first thing we have to do is take the tape measure. Now they gave this tape measure to us when we got the WeCreate Vision 45 watt laser engraver. And it's basically just a tape measure. On this side, we actually have inches and centimeters and millimeters. Now you can use the diameter going straight from one side to the other. I don't know if it's in focus. There we go. Going from one side to the other, your diameter, but it's not as accurate as actually circumference, as they say. And so what we're going to do is we're simply going to put our tape measure here and rotate it all the way around until we get to the end. Now, what's going to happen, so I'm trying to see what I'm doing here with the video. We just come across there. Now we're going to look right here where that little metal tab is, and what we're getting is 90. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to say that looks about like 93 millimeters. So the circumference of this dowel is 93 millimeters. It is also, if you want to look at it that way, 3 3¾ almost exactly. A little under 3 3/4, but I think you'd be okay with 3 3/4. But yeah, definitely 93 millimeters. So 93 or 3 3/4. Free Vector Designs online. I mean, it's pretty easy. They're Adobe stock. That's not Vecteezy. That's where we want to go. Vecteezy. I think you do have to put your account in if you actually want to download anything. So we're going to look for some just some basic vectors. How about dragon scales? Hey, and there you go. There's a lot of them. I didn't think there was going to be that many. Everything that's black on this one right here would basically just be etched into the roulette. We can reverse that so that everything that's etched is basically just the little, the white line. There's a lot of scales here. These dragon scales are cool. Now these are all vectors, supposedly. Now, this one says it's free. That's cool. I believe these might be free. This one's free. I like this one. Let's click on this one. We'll check it out here. And as you can see, That would be pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and download that one. I'm going to find something else. Let's find something else. Just one more thing. What if we don't want dragons? What if we want Celtic? Just anything Celtic. Oh yeah. And then we get this stuff. Now, what are we going to do with this? We will have to make a square out of it so that this side matches up with this side. Those are free. Anybody want a dog? That's cool too. Big free dog. Yggdrasil. Oh, Yggdrasil would be nice. I wonder if we could just roll that out as a tile. Who knows? Heck yeah, if it's free, let's grab it. Free download. I think that's going to work for us right there. Okay, let's take these and try to etch that dowel with them. Let's do it up around. Okay, so the We Create rotary system is a really nice chuck-based system, but because our dowel is going to be relatively small, we're going to have to flip these guys around because obviously we don't have enough, we don't really have enough purchase. I might be able to get it up in here, but I don't really want it anywhere close to those guys, so I think just flipping this might be in order, and you use your basically your standard dude here. Yeah. I think. Yep. That's exactly what we wanted. There we go. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so what we need to do is find out, well, how long our roulette is going to be. And since we know that it's going to be, the design will be 93 millimeters around the circumference, then we want something that's, you know, going to hold it. And I also need enough area at the top for the clutch of the rotary to grab a hold of it, to have something to purchase there. So I'm just going to take this caliper and move it to, but let's give ourselves a little bit more. So let's just go to 100 millimeters. Boom. That, a little bit more. It's a test. It's an experiment. We don't know what we're doing. How about 110? 110. All right, I'm going to mark it at 110 then. Awesome. That is some hardwood. Let's see. We'll go ahead and yeah, it's going to be frighteningly easy, I think. I'm not sure how accurate that's going to be. It looks pretty good right there. So we've launched Make It software from We Create, and I'm going to hit New Project where we'll get our working plane, and I'll hit refresh instantly. We will see our dowel in our chuck. Go over here to where it says laser flat, click on it, and we see laser cylinder, and that will show us how we're going to set up our rotary. What we do is we'll select over here and import, bring in our file, go ahead and select laser cylinder again, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh after that. And there, that's how we're going to set it up. It sets it up in the vertical. Now I've got the sizes all wrong, so what I need to do is go here and select our 93 millimeters on our perimeter, which is our circumference of the device, or our circumference of our dowel. And then I'm going to go in here and change the width up here on millimeters to 93. And that looks about right. Now this, when I go to the center, will actually automatically center, and you can see that it's going from one end to the other, and we're plenty far away from the working area alert bar. I think I'm going to go ahead and change the actual height of this to be just a little bit less tall. So there we go. So that it won't interfere with the end of it so much. And change that back into 93. I had the lock on. So now we've got that set up. We're going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and just set the power. I know that 85% power is probably about right for wood. I'm going to set the speed for 100, which is a little slow, and I like to set the density to 150. If you select 3D view, preview, you can literally see a 3D preview of what that's going to look like as it rotates around. And as you can see, there's no gaps. The left side bonds perfectly with the right side. I'm going to send it. There we go. That's touching it. All right. Okay, that was an epic fail. These are pretty deep. These are pretty deep in here, but that's not going to work for a clay roller. And so I went ahead and stopped the process. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the original idea of having these all black and just that little area show through, because I think it'll work a lot better as a roller. And obviously we were having some difficulty with this one to try and get it to work. I think we need to go deeper. I think we still need to go deeper on this. But that's starting to work. I had to change over back from my adjustment rotary holder to just attaching the rotary back on the wall here, because for some reason the laser module was touching the actual wood. I think I needed to frame it first, because I have used the rotary adjuster before to do a tumbler that was oddly shaped. You saw that. Yeah, just to avoid having any more problems, I went ahead and just attached it the way it's supposed to go, and the way that you will get most probably your We Create Vision Pro 45. Let's try this again. Well, in hindsight, there's the only gap right there on that one. And in hindsight, that's a little too deep. Now, I have no doubt whatsoever that this won't perform as planned, but obviously being too deep means that these little guys right in here, they will break off eventually. But that's pretty cool. Next time we won't etch it quite so deep, but gosh, that's going to be really cool once it's washed off. after some trial and error. I consider that an extreme success. If you can see, this is straight out of the, let me focus on it. This is straight out of the laser engraver, straight off that clay. I haven't washed this one, unlike the first one. And there's no clay sticking to it. That's why we like wooden roulettes as opposed to something 3D printed with PLA, because like I said, PLA sticks really bad to clay and you have to oil it or something. Who wants to do that when you can just make these? And I mean, obviously, if you wanted to, you could cut these off afterwards and even, you know, drill a hole through them and, you know, make a roulette out of them. So just another fantastic thing you can do with the We Create Vision 45 laser engraver, or any laser engraver for that matter, but this one's very powerful and can etch very deeply. So yeah, keep making things because it is extremely cool. And I'll catch you guys on the other side of the studio. Freya. 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 Hi, Freya. Hi, Freya. Freya, look. Freya, look up here. Freya. 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 Freya.